The economy took another hit this week. The Bureau of Labor Statistics released a report showing that consumer prices were up 2.9% in August from a year earlier. On top of that, revised numbers show that the U.S. added almost 1 million fewer jobs than previously reported over the 12-month period ending in March. It should be pointed out that most of that period was during the Biden administration. And yet, President Trump continues to insist that all is well with the economy. In a post on Truth Social, he declared there is, quote, no inflation. You can fact check that with your grocery receipt. And he is once again calling for Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. He's calling him a, quote, disaster, with economists expecting the Fed to finally grant Trump's wish for an interest rate cut later this week. Joining us now, Axios senior economics reporter Courtney Brown. Courtney, welcome back to The Weekend. Okay, I'm really confused. So I just talked about there that the BLS revised downward by 1 million jobs, the job creation. Yep. Now I just learned during the break that there's some consternation about which jobs and whose jobs and where are they. Please clear this up.
This moment is so weird. The fact that Eugene asked me
about the economy.
Eugene asked me, "Can you tell me about the revisions?" And I'm like, "Wait, which revisions are you talking about?" There's just a lot of moving parts right now. Okay. So the first piece is we learned that the economy, as you said, added 1 million fewer jobs than initially anticipated from March 2024 to March 2025. Put that aside for a second.
Okay.
This week, we learned that there was a massive surge in unemployment filings in the week ended September 9th. So that data came out at the same time as the CPI numbers that you just described. And
the inflation number.
Consumer Price Index. Yeah, the inflation gauge. So I think financial markets were like, whoa, we have this increase in inflation on the one hand, and then we have this massive surge in unemployment filings, people trying to get unemployment benefits. Put that together, that's nasty. That's stagflation. But then we did some reporting, and there was a lot of concern about why the jobless numbers were so high. Many of them came out of the state of Texas. So we called the Texas.
This is such a good exercise, by the way, in reporting.
Yeah, correct.
Your editor was like, "What's up with these numbers?"
Yes.
So you looked into it.
We have a fantastic editor, Ben Berkowitz at Axios, and he was like, this seems weird. We also got some indication from J.P. Morgan economists, our sources on the sell side, that this number was not right. So we call the Texas Workforce Commission. They report the numbers up to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and they say, yes, that surge was actually a result of an attempted fraudulent claims filing. So a bunch of those claims were not.
And how many of those claims happened?
They did not specify, and they did not answer any of our questions about, well, how many was it? Did it have anything to do with, disaster claims relief, people who needed to claim unemployment filings because of the recent storm? We haven't heard anything back. But what we know right now is that the jobless claims number that came out this week was not as bad as we thought, but still not great.
Surprised we haven't seen a Truth Social on that.
Yeah, so you call Texas and they're like, oh, no, don't worry. It's a bunch of fraudulent folks. Y'all believe that? Do you believe that?
We called the Bureau of Labor Statistics and said, hey, did you know this was a thing? Did you know this was happening? And if you did know, why wasn't it noted in the release? Because this release moved financial markets, trillions of dollars. People worrying that the job market is suddenly cratering.
Is this a quality control issue with some of the drama that's going on at the Bureau?
So what's complicated about the jobless claims release is all of the states report up to the national level. Here's what happened with unemployment filings in our state over the past week. And the BLS just does generally some aggregation. They add in some seasonal factors, and they put out the number to Wall Street. So you're raising a good question right now. There's so much concern over the quality of U.S. statistics right now, in part because President Trump has cast doubt on the numbers. President Trump has fired the head of the BLS, and we're not sure what's to come of that agency once his pick, if his pick is confirmed by the Senate.
I want to get back to the revisions. We put that aside for a moment.
Revision.
The first revision.
Bring it back.
I'll bring that back. 1 million when I saw that number, I kind of shook. And I'm not the economic brilliant brain that you have, but I know that's a lot. And there are reasons that happens, right? And it's hard to explain to the American people how that works and why it happens. And so that's why it makes it very easy for the Trump administration to attack the BLS in this moment.
Right.
But talk about what that tells us about where our economy is and what that tells us about the impact that President Trump's tariff war actually does have on an economy that maybe is a little more rickety than we thought.
If you ask economists across the spectrum, left-leaning, right-leaning, moderate, they will say that you tend to see these really large revisions at turning points in the economy when there's a little bit of uncertainty about whether businesses are hiring as much as they say. So there's nothing weird happening here. These revisions are totally normal, but it is concerning that they are that large. And what does that say about what we understood at the economy about the time? We knew the economy was slowing. We knew the labor market was slowing.
People felt it.
Yes, of course. Can't ignore what you see on the ground. But we did not know it was slowing to this magnitude.
Next week, as I said in the intro, the markets are anticipating that the Fed will lower interest rates. Is that because of political pressure from the president, or is that because the economic data warrant a rate cut?
President Trump is getting the rate cut that he wanted, but certainly not for the reasons he wants. This is not a good news rate cut. Like, oh, the economy is looking fine. Let's turn the dial down a little. No, the economy is not looking fine. There's a lot of concern about the unemployment rate and the job market. And so the Fed is making this move because they are really worried about the labor market and the health of the labor market. So much so that they are tossing to the side that increase of inflation. They see the labor market as the bigger problem here.
With everything you just said, why does the stock market seem like everybody over there in New York, the stock exchange,
points.
They seem just fine. They don't seem concerned at all. Is all of this kind of baked in? Did they assume that this was happening? Are they not worried as people on Main Street are?
I'm only rolling my eyes at you because
I do it all the
time. This is not on this show.
It's fine.
We roll the eyes.
What you need to understand about the stock market is like they are that friend in college that partied all the time. All the time. And you're like, we have a final tomorrow, aren't you concerned? No, they're out partying. Right. I think if you think about the stock market like that, there is so much hopium. There's so much excitement about AI. And right now, that's all they're worried about. And so if you just kind of remember it's the friend who's always partying, I think you'll be able to understand the disconnect.
I'm never going to forget that. That's so good.
I don't know if we have time to play this shot from Howard Lutnick, but I think it is worth just stating it as a benchmark quickly, if we can bring that up.
Time on TV.
Inflation in August ticking up to 4.3%, the highest since 21. Manufacturing activity shrank in August, 6 months running. Unemployed workers exceeding job openings. If Biden had numbers like that, you'd be on Fox saying, what's going on?
So the economy that Donald Trump owns starts at the end of this year. You can't get
work that way.
Well.
Wait, say what?
Courtney.
I feel like we should note that there are a lot of economists who feel like lowering the interest rate right now is going to lead to more inflation. What is your final word on that and prediction ahead?
I just have to thank you for playing a clip from the Axios show. The wonderful Mike Allen.
Interview.
Thank you. Yeah, the wonderful Mike Allen interviewing the Commerce Secretary. We call this in the newsroom Howard Lutnick math because he's been on the record before just kind of kicking the can down the road, saying that, no, the economy, the Trump economy really doesn't start until this time. No, it's this time. And I mean, that's a fair argument until a certain point, right? There's only so much a new president can claim the economy. But President Trump himself has claimed the economy. So I think who do we listen to here?
Yeah,
right.
Kristen Welker, the good parts are his, the bad parts are Biden.
That's correct. That's correct. But you heard Mr. Lutnick say it, end of the year. That's the Trump economy.
We'll be in 2029.
Yes,
still blaming the Biden economy.
Still waiting. Courtney Brown, as always, thank you. Make us all feel a lot smarter. Still to come.
Friend who's partying.
Exactly. That friend who's partying, honey. Don't forget.